Consistency is more important than intensity. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Let me say something. You can't heal your partner, and you also can't save your relationship by loving your partner harder. Okay? Love should never ever cost you your self-worth or your peace or your mental stability. It should never. Emotional safety is vital. It should be a non-negotiable. Maturity is about evolving, and you can change your expectations from relationships even when you are in one. There will be disagreements, absolutely. But it's how you show up to those disagreements that distinguishes a healthy relationship from an unhealthy one. The right person, you will never have to explain your standards to them because they will meet them. They will show up for them. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It is me, it is Katleho. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back to I Have Thoughts. Real talk, I have thoughts. And in this video, we're going to talk about something that's really powerful. It's a little bit sad, but I think it's really something that's so important to discuss. And these are the hard truths that I have learned in my 30s with regards to relationships. And I want to have this conversation with you guys because I feel like many of you guys are in your 20s, 30s as well. Some in the 40s, based on my analytics and things like that. But I really feel like this is something that you need to be aware of, especially given the fact that, like I said in my previous videos, my birthday is rolling up, and I really do want to do these kinds of videos as my little gift to you. Something that you can think back on and say, you know what, Katleho did say this. She did say this. She did say that I'm going to go through this, or she did say this, and now I'm seeing it play out. And, is it something that I want for myself and for my life? And I think that it's really important to have these discussions. These videos are often really difficult to make because I not only write down the pointers myself, so I need to dig deep and think about all of the things that I've been through in my relationships in my 30s and maybe late 20s, where I realized that these are the things that are hard truths about relationships. And these are the things that, we need to never forget when we think about relationships and what we want from relationships. So let's get into the video. That was a long intro, but I think it's important for us to have these conversations. As you know, I write things down on my phone, and we're going to be talking around those pointers. So let's get into the video. Let me have my first cup of tea, sip of tea. It's definitely not my first cup of tea today. No, ma'am. If it's always complicated, then it means that it's probably not right. Real love is not supposed to be confusing. Real love is not supposed to be in spaces where you don't know how you feel about it. You don't know what's happening with regards to it. It's supposed to be stable. Yes, will it have difficult times? Yes, but it's supposed to be something that you are sure and secure of.
Yes.
There are going to be some confusions or complications or things that you realize that you're not gonna be privy to anymore, or things that you realize that they're just not for you. It shouldn't feel complicated. There will be moments of ups and downs with real love, but it should feel stable and secure. And if it's complicated, then it probably isn't right. It probably isn't right, okay? You can't heal your partner. You can't. I'll mention the third point here as well. You can't heal your partner, and you also can't save your relationship by loving your partner harder. Okay? But let's start with you can't heal your partner. They have to do the inner work. They have to do the work where they look at themselves and they look at what they bring to the relationship. They look at what is missing, what they need to grow from, what they need to focus on, what they need to be honest and accountable to in the relationship. But you cannot heal them. If they are struggling with certain things that are maybe influenced by their childhood and now it influences how they behave as adults, they need to do the inner work to find out what that is. It is not your responsibility to heal your partner. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It is not your responsibility to heal your partner. It is your responsibility to be there and be supportive of the hard work that they might have to go through once they start opening up the doors to that journey. But it is not your responsibility to heal them. They need to be able to do the inner work. And that has nothing to do with you. So if you're somebody who's gone to therapy and you find yourself in a relationship with somebody who hasn't gone to therapy, I'm not saying that you are better for it just because you've gone to therapy, but you will start to see signs in them that you feel like, okay, this is something that is largely attributed because of their childhood. They probably don't realize it yet. It's not your job to make them realize it, but it is your job to highlight that, you know what, this is something that maybe you might consider working on. Maybe speak to somebody about it. You know, some people are very anti-therapy and they don't want to do therapy, and you can't force somebody to go into therapy. However, you can initiate the conversation to say that, when you do something like this, it makes me think about ABCZ, or it makes me feel some type of way, or ABCZ, whatever it may be. But it's you can't heal them. You can't love someone harder and think that they will change.
This is all I got.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because you throw the love at them and you throw the care at them and you throw the effort at the relationship and all of this, and in the hopes that they would change, they won't. You can't love someone harder in the hopes that they will change. People will only change when they want to. And oftentimes, more than not, they don't. They don't change. So it's something that you need to realize, that only in a stable relationship where somebody is very well aware of their actions towards you and your actions towards them. So this applies to both partners, right? Only when they are aware of their actions towards you and they take the effort to actually work on changing that for their personal growth, right? But also for the growth of the relationship and for the working out and the stability of the relationship, they should want to do that. And if they don't want to do that and they're too focused on other things and they feel like this is exhausting for them and they're constantly in and out of fights with you and they don't want to do the work, then they're not going to do it. So no matter how much you love that person, no matter how hard you love that person, you cannot love them into changing. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That is very, very important, okay? You cannot love them into changing. And a big one, you can love someone very deeply and still feel the need to walk away. And still walk away. Not feel the need to walk away, still walk away, right? Love should never ever cost you your self-worth or your peace or your mental stability. It should never. And if you find yourself in a space where you're constantly anxious about this love, you're constantly anxious about how they view you, how they see you, do they even still care about you? Do they even still love you? Are they telling you that they care about you? Are they even telling you that they love you? And you find yourself always questioning this. You can love them deeply and still walk away from them, because it should never cost you your self-worth. It should never cost you your emotional and mental wellness and well-being. It should never cost you any of that, okay? And it should never even cost you your growth. You can love someone deeply but still feel stunted and feel like we're not growing in this, and then walk away. You can't do that. It hurts because you are walking away with that love that you still have for that person, but it is what it is. You have to also consider your emotional wellness and well-being. You know what I'm saying? Timing is actually a real thing, and it is very painful. You can meet someone and love them, but the timing might not be right. And if the timing might not be right as to when and in which part and journey of their lives they are at or you are at, it just might not work out. And you guys can both love each other. Listen, you guys can both love each other from here to kingdom come, from here to Timbuktu. You know what I'm saying? But if the timing isn't right and somebody hasn't done the work on themselves, or maybe financially you're not in the great space to be able to, give to this relationship and for the relationship, or maybe mentally or emotionally you're not at the great space, then the timing is not right and it won't work out. It really won't. And maybe sometimes you just gotta wait it out. Sometimes you will meet that person in another 10 years. You'll meet that person in another 5 years, 2 years, and maybe then things will be different. But if it's not right now, right now, it probably won't work out. And that's a hard truth, but it is true. Emotional safety. This is so big, and I want you to never forget this. This is probably one of the most important points that I will make in this video. Emotional safety is vital. It should be a non-negotiable. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Okay? Emotional safety should absolutely be vital and non-negotiable. If you are constantly feeling anxious when you engage with this person, or you are feeling sad because they stonewall you, or they silent treatmentize you, or they treat you a particular way, or they're disrespectful towards you, or they're always cursing you and calling you out of your name, and because of that it leads you to feelings of anxiousness, then that's a hard truth that you need to realize that this relationship is not going to work out. A good relationship should never cost you your emotional safety. Your emotional safety is absolutely vital to the survival of the relationship. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yes, there will be moments where you're a little bit anxious, maybe you're in the middle of a fight, right? Maybe there's a disagreement and you're a little bit anxious because you don't know how it's going to turn out. But if you're in a relationship where communication is key, and people hold themselves accountable, and people still want to show up for the relationship and grow with you, then that anxiety is not going to be as overwhelming. You're just anxious because you're having to have a very difficult conversation with your partner, and that is okay. But you're not anxious because you feel like after this conversation they're probably going to leave you. So your emotional safety is absolutely vital. It is a non-negotiable. Do you understand? I've bit myself twice today, and I feel like it's because I can't talk today. Consistency is more important than intensity. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Let me say something.
Let me tell you something. All right. Let me
say something. Consistency is more important than intensity. How you show up for that person every day, even in the small acts, like calling each other and checking in on each other throughout the day, or maybe, cooking for them when they're not feeling well, or maybe listening to them when they are down, showing up for them when they are having a huge, like a mental breakdown. Like for me, as somebody who has moments where I have very low lows, when somebody that I care about shows up for me, that matters more to me than that person buying me a car, or buying me a very expensive purse, or taking me on holiday. That matters more to me. How I show up, the amount of time we spend together, how they show up for me, how they make time for me, even in their busy schedules, they make time for me. That matters more than grand gestures. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I'm spitting today, spitting facts. And these are things that I have learned in my relationships, that emotionally showing up for somebody every day in how you show up for them in your consistency is a lot more important than intensity in terms of grand gestures, what they can do for you, the money that they give you, the this. Nah, what matters is how they show up for you, even in the small things on a daily basis. That, okay? I'm just saying. You can change what you want from relationships, okay? Maturity is about evolving. And you can change your expectations from relationships even when you are in one.
Yes, mother. Yes, mother.
So if it is with somebody that you care about, you can change how you show up in terms of that relationship. So all the things that you need to unlearn, the behaviors that you need to unlearn because you want to show up for that relationship. Do you understand? Let me spit. Okay? You can change how you want to show up for that person while you are in that relationship with them. Maturity is about growing and evolving, and you can grow with your partner. You do not need to be apart from them to be able to grow with them, for the relationship, and for yourself. Do you understand? Oof. It's powerful. I can't even believe I wrote half the stuff down. But it's true, right? At this age, you get to realize that peace is the new chemistry and not drama. Do you understand? Peace is the new chemistry, not drama. Stability is the new chemistry, not drama. You don't want to constantly be up and down, fighting, feeling like you're not seen, feeling like you're not heard, throwing names. You know how difficult it is for someone that you love to look at you in the face and call you a whore or a see you next Tuesday? That's unacceptable. You don't want the drama. You don't want the constant fighting. You don't want this. Stability is the new chemistry. You want someone you can go out with, have fun with. This is not taking away from the fact that there will be conflicts within the relationship. There will be disagreements, absolutely. But it's how you show up to those disagreements that distinguishes a healthy relationship from an unhealthy one. It's how you show up for those disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? I don't even know if this mic is on. Yeah, it's on. It's on. Also, you deserve a relationship where you do not have to shrink yourself in order to be loved or to feel loved. You shouldn't have to check what you say. You shouldn't have to constantly be anxious. You shouldn't have to be able to just go with what they say and not what you say. Your words matter too. What you says matter too. If somebody says, I'm willing to hear you, tell me how you feel. Tell me what I can do to make it better. Tell me how da-da-da-da. You need to be in a relationship where you don't have to feel like you are shrinking yourself in order to be loved. Do you understand? Emotional disconnection and solitude feels worse in a relationship than when you are alone. You can be alone in your solitude and feel perfectly fine. And feel like you're healthy. You're in a great mental space. You're alone, but you're not lonely. But emotional loneliness within a relationship, there is nothing more hurtful than that. Where you feel so emotionally disconnected from someone that you love, someone that you see every single day. Yo, guys. No, you should never have to feel that way. Ever. So feeling that emotional disconnect is just... that emotional loneliness is hurtful in a relationship. Unhealed wounds, unhealed traumas and wounds will show up as patterns. Do you understand? You will continue to behave the same way with different people when you choose not to address your role in those relationships and what has caused you to behave that way. Unhealed wounds will always show up as patterns. If your relationships end for different reasons, right? And they don't necessarily end because you're too busy, you're emotionally unavailable, you don't show up for that person, you make time for everything and everyone else but the person that you're in the relationship with, you stonewall them, you hit them with the silent treatment, you treat them badly, you break their boundaries, you do all of this. That will happen with every single relationship. There will be a piece of all of that I've just mentioned, that'll happen in every other single relationship. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Unhealed wounds will always show up as patterns in your relationships. And this is something that you need to be very aware of. If your previous relationship ended because they cheated, you left, a boundary was broken, sharp. The next one ends because they ignored you, they stonewalled you, they did whatever, and you felt emotionally disconnected, unheard, and unseen, sharp. That's something different. If the next relationship ends because, long distance, and you just couldn't work it out, sharp. That's something different. But if all your relationships end because of all those pointers that I mentioned, the stonewalling, the far too busy for your partner, the silent treatment, the not speaking to your partner, the emotional unavailability that you give, that will show up in all your relationships. And you will hear your partners tell you that, I don't like it when you give me the silent treatment. That's what your other partner told you. Ooh, right? I don't like it when you do this. Unhealed wounds will always show up as patterns. I need you to never forget that. Okay? Okay. You don't have to explain your standards to anyone. Do you understand? The right person will understand exactly what it is that you come with and exactly what your expectations are, and they will meet them. They might struggle, maybe a little bit. There might be a little, you might need to give a little bit of give. You know what I'm saying? You need to give a little bit of give, right? But the right person, I swear to God, this is so true. Okay, the right person, you will never have to explain your standards to them because they will meet them. They will show up for them. In your 30s, I've learned that. I never had to explain my standards in my previous relationship. They were met until, obviously, certain things didn't work out, but it is what it is. But I never had to explain my expectations or my standards. They were always met. You know what I'm saying? Until they weren't. Obviously, that's why relationships end. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Emotional unavailability isn't sexy. It really isn't. It's just a headache. It gives you a headache. You shouldn't find yourself having to chase somebody who's emotionally unavailable to you. This is the last one I'm going to end with. You shouldn't find yourself chasing somebody who is emotionally unavailable to you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You shouldn't. It's not sexy. Chase someone who chooses you back, who chases you back. Choose someone who chooses you back. It's that simple. Someone who's not going to be emotionally unavailable to you, who's going to be emotionally unavailable to you, it's not sexy. It's not a lock. It's not a lock. I hope this helps. I hope this shows you that these are some of the things that should never be acceptable. These are the hard truths about relationships that I have learned in my 30s. And now that my birthday is coming up, I wanted to share that with you. Tell me what else you've learned. Have you gotten this far? If you have gotten this far, send me in the comments a picture of a sun, because it's a nice sunny day today. I hope you do well with your relationship. I wish love for you, for your relationships. I hope that you are with somebody who chooses you, who chooses to work on things with you, who doesn't treat you badly, and who isn't emotionally unavailable to you. I hope you find the one that is for you. That is my gift for you. That is my thank you to you for my for my birthday that's coming up. So it's my gift to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, please watch all the ads. Thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you so much for choosing me over and over again. But I'm gonna go now. I've got some work to do, so I will see you very, very soon. Until then, sayonara.